Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am back with another video. On this video we are going to be looking at the extension of Cold War, focusing on the Vietnam War case study, which is an essay question for your history, paper 1. So now let us look at the introduction. As part of essay writing, for your essay to be structured well, for the presentation of your essay to score you marks, you need to have a proper introduction. And here are the easy 3 steps that I'd like you to follow in order to structure a good introduction that will score you marks. Step number 1, you need to take a stance. You might find a question that says to you critically discuss. When the question says critically discuss, this is how you take your stance. You can say you approve or you disapprove. When a question says do you agree, this is how you take your stance. You say you agree or you disagree. When a question says to you explain to what extent, this is how you take your stance. You say to a greater extent or to a less extent. I hope that makes sense. Step number 1, you always take a stance depending on the question that you got in that exam. Step number 2, you need to provide a reason as to why you have taken that stance. For example, let's look at question 2, which says the withdrawal of soldiers from Vietnam signaled the defeat of the United States of America's policy of containment. Do you agree with this statement? Let's say, for example, I say I agree. Now you have to provide a reason as to why do you agree. I hope that makes sense. So step number 2, provide a reason. Step number 3 is orientation, whereby you tell us which content you're going to draw your evidence from. I hope that makes sense. So these are the simple steps that you need to follow in order to have a properly structured introduction that will score you marks. So let us look at this example that I have prepared for you guys. I have taken question number 3, which reads as follows: explain to what extent the tactics and strategies that the Viet Cong used against the United States of America's army were successful in containing the spread of capitalism in Vietnam between 1965 and 1975. Use relevant evidence to support your line of argument. That is the statement or question. Now here's our answer. Step number 1, you take a stance to a greater extent. To a great extent, the tactics and strategies that the Viet Cong used against the United States of America's army were successful in containing the spread of capitalism in Vietnam between 1965 and 1975. Okay? Yes, so 1975. Thereafter, you need to provide a reason, which is your step number 2. You can say reason being, or you can just say because. In this case, we said because the Viet Cong fought a guerrilla war that led to the US withdrawing their troops and Vietnam falling under communist control. So can you see step number 2 is done. Step number 3, which is orientation, whereby you're supposed to tell us the content in which you're going to draw your evidence from. And then step number 3, therefore, this essay is going to explain the different forms of strategies used by the USA to fight the Viet Cong, as well as the tactics that were employed by the Viet Cong to contain the spread of capitalism in Vietnam between 1965 and 1975. At this point, I hope you now know how to structure a proper introduction. Moving on to the background. So now we are done with the introduction. We are moving on to the background. So for an essay to score you good marks, we're supposed to provide us with a little bit of background information that is going to tell us why the war started. Okay, so in your background, I highly advise you to include the Geneva Conference of 1954 that divided Vietnam into two. You're supposed to talk about the domino theory. You're supposed to talk about Diem's government that led to the creation or to the formation of the Viet Cong. In your background, ensure that you mention all of these three important things. Okay, and then let's look at the body. So this is just an overview of what your body should include, but as we go on in this video, I am going to explain each and every single facet included in this body. I hope that makes sense. So you need to talk about the safe village system or the strategic hamlet policy. You need to talk about the Gulf of Tonkin, Operation Ranch Hand, Operation Rolling Thunder, guerrilla war tactics, the search and destroy policy, Tet offensive, My Lai massacre, television war, or the role of media, Vietnamization. Thereafter you write your conclusion. Even in your conclusion, you take the very same stance that you took in your introduction. Okay. And another thing, don't forget to use the peel method. Make your point, explain it, provide evidence, and then you link. When you link, you refer back to the question. And another thing, on this Vietnam essay question, to score all good marks, you need to talk about the strategies that were used by the USA and talk about the strategies or the tactics that were used by the Viet Cong that led to the defeat of the USA. Don't make a mistake of talking about the strategies used by the USA only and leaving out the Viet Cong or vice versa, because you're going to lose marks. And do not omit information. Try to talk about all of these key strategies that are mentioned here. Okay, let us move on to these definitions. These definitions are equally important. Let us explain them quickly because you will need to use them in this essay. So the domino theory was the belief that if Vietnam turned communist, all other neighboring countries will also turn communist. And then a guerrilla war, it was a type of combat that was fought by the Viet Cong using surprise attacks such as ambushes, raids, and sabotage to overthrow the Diem government. And then Vietnamization, it was an American policy of withdrawing their troops from Vietnam and leaving South Vietnam to fight war against the Viet Cong by themselves. And then the Viet Cong, we are talking about the Vietnamese communists. So please ensure that you know these definitions and you understand them because you will have to use them. Okay? Alright. Now please take note that anything that is highlighted in green or anything that is highlighted in red, just know that it is a key point. You need to discuss it in your essay. Alright? Okay. Now, let us unpack the Geneva Conference that I said you must talk about in the background. So the Geneva Conference of 1954 divided Vietnam into two, into Communist North Vietnam and anti-Communist South Vietnam. The agreement made at the conference stipulated that elections should be held in 1956 to unite the country. Ngo Dinh Diem, the leader of South Vietnam, refused to have the elections, fearing a communist victory. The leader of South Vietnam feared that communism was going to win in all of Vietnam. And then on the other hand, the USA supported Diem because of the domino theory. What was the domino theory again? We said it was a belief that if one country in Asia becomes communist, all of the other countries are going to be communist. They are all going to fall into communism like domino theory. For example, if Vietnam becomes a communist country, the other neighboring countries are going to be communist as well. So the USA feared that. As a result, they also didn't want the elections to take place. They feared communist victory in Vietnam, and they also feared the domino theory. Okay? And then America, yes, we said that America was also against the elections taking place, fearing communism, the spread of communism, or wanting to contain it. Okay? Now let us look at the different parts of Vietnam. Previously we said it was divided into two, right? North Vietnam and South. The leader of North Vietnam was Ho Chi Minh. The leader of South Vietnam was Ngo Dinh Diem. The capital city of North Vietnam was Hanoi. The capital city of South Vietnam was Saigon. In terms of the government, the government in North Vietnam was effective and they supported their peasants. And then the government in South Vietnam was oppressive and corrupt. They supported the landlords against their peasants. So this information will help you to structure your argument. So you need to understand the different parts of Vietnam, and I hope you do. Moving on to the next slide. So by the late 1950s, the opposition to Diem's government in South Vietnam had grown. Why do you think the opposition grew in South Vietnam? Because remember, the South Vietnam's government or Diem's government was oppressive and corrupt. Hence, the peasants started to do what? Wanting to overthrow it. They started opposing the government. Okay, so more and more peasants began to support communists in North Vietnam. Those peasants became known as the Viet Cong, meaning Vietnamese communists. Okay? So please don't make a mistake of saying some peasants, they left South Vietnam to North Vietnam and then they became the Viet Cong. No, that is incorrect, totally incorrect. The people who became the Viet Cong are the peasants that were there in South Vietnam already, the peasants that were against Diem's government, the peasants that wanted to do what? To overthrow Diem's government. They formed a group and then they were referred to as the Viet Cong, which means Vietnamese communist, because they supported the communists in North Vietnam, simply because the government in North Vietnam was also effective, and since they also supported their peasants. I hope that makes sense. Alright, the Viet Cong fought a guerrilla war against Diem's government. They received arms and supplies from North Vietnam, which were smuggled through the jungle along the Ho Chi Minh Trail. At the same time, North Vietnam was receiving economic aid and military assistance from China and USSR. Diem's government began to rely more and more on economic and military aid from the USA, including military advisors. So this one is self-explanatory. Okay, the Viet Cong received arms and supplies from the North Vietnam. North Vietnam received arms and supplies from the USSR as well as China. Why the USSR? Because remember, the USSR was a communist government as well, so they are bound to support another communist government. And then because Diem's government was anti-communist, which means they were against communism, they received a military as well as economic aid from the USA, including military advisors. Why military advisors? So that they can come and train the soldiers in South Vietnam or work hand in hand with the soldiers in South Vietnam. Okay, now let us move on. Let us look at the Ho Chi Minh Trail that we spoke about. Yes, this is North Vietnam, right? So they supplied the Viet Cong with arms and supplies or with weapons using the Ho Chi Minh Trail. This is also another visual representation of the arms and supplies or the weapons being smuggled through the Ho Chi Minh Trail, as you can see. Alright, so now let us look at the first strategy that the USA introduced. So the USA introduced the Strategic Hamlet Policy or the Strategic Hamlet Program, which was initiated by the government of South Vietnam with the support of the United States. The program aimed to create safe villages to protect South Vietnamese peasants, and they also wanted to create these villages, safe villages, so that they keep ordinary peasants far away from the Viet Cong, because they were afraid, or they didn't want those peasants to do what? To end up joining the Viet Cong as well. Hope that makes sense. However, this strategic hamlet policy was unsuccessful because the peasants did not want to do what? They did not want to leave their ancestral land. So as you can see, this strategy is highlighted, meaning it's a key strategy that you need to include. And then we have this incident, the Gulf of Tonkin. The Gulf of Tonkin is whereby the US government accused North Vietnamese patrol boats of firing the US warships in the Gulf of Tonkin. This incident made America to send troops into Vietnam, and this became a full-scale war known as the Vietnam War. By 1967, there were 500,000 US soldiers in Vietnam because of what happened in the Gulf of Tonkin. Moving on to another strategy that the USA introduced, which is referred to as the Operation Rolling Thunder. The US President Johnson launched a massive bombing campaign known as the Operation Rolling Thunder. This operation involved the bombing of the jungle in hopes of destroying the Viet Cong. The bombing in North Vietnam caused a large number of civilians' deaths and a great deal of damage to town. This operation failed because it did not defeat the Viet Cong. Do you see me linking here? Linking. When you link, you refer back to the question. That's how you do it. Okay. Yes, this is the Operation Rolling Thunder, which was a bombing campaign, as you can see. Moving on to another strategy that the USA introduced, which was referred to as the Operation Ranch Hand. The US introduced another strategy known as the Operation Ranch Hand. The Operation Ranch Hand was a chemical warfare operation aimed at destroying crops, jungles, trees to expose the enemy hideouts and supply lines by spraying Agent Orange and Agent Blue. The Operation Ranch Hand was using bombs and napalm, which was a flammable gel-like substance used in firebombs. Napalm would stick to skin, causing severe burns and fires, as you can see as depicted in these visual images. However, this did not stop the Viet Cong from defeating the USA. Okay. Moving on. Yes, previously I said if you want to score good marks, ensure that you talk about the strategies that were used by the USA as well as the tactics that were used by the Viet Cong. Now let's look at the tactics used by the Viet Cong. The Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese Army deployed guerrilla warfare tactics against the South Vietnamese and the United States military. These tactics included ambushes, booby traps, surprise attacks, raids, and operating in thick, dense jungles. As you can see, as depicted, this is a trap. Once you touch this wire, whatever this is, it's over for you. This is also a trap because once you step on this thinking it's grass, it's over for you. These spikes are just going to hurt you. Okay? Moving on. The Viet Cong also built an underground tunnel with sleeping quarters, hospitals, food, weapons, and water supplies. From the tunnels, they could make quick hit-and-run attacks, killing a number of US soldiers who were young and inexperienced. Yes, this is the underground tunnels. It might not be clear enough, but this is on land and these are the US troops. These are the underground tunnels. This is the hospital wing. There's food, there's water, and so forth. And then they would operate in those underground tunnels, come out and do surprise attacks and then quickly go hide themselves, which made it difficult for the US troops to find them. Not to mention that the US troops was also young and inexperienced, so they couldn't compete with the guerrilla war tactics that were employed by the Viet Cong. Moving on to another major event that you need to mention, which is the Tet Offensive. In 1968, the Viet Cong launched a major attack known as the Tet Offensive. They entered the heart of Saigon and attacked the American embassy during the Tet. The Tet is the Vietnamese New Year. They attacked and gained 100 towns and villages in South Vietnam. 14,000 troops were killed and many more were injured. As you can see, troops injured, the Viet Cong carrying their weapons. And then here's another strategy that was used by the USA, which is the search and destroy policy. So the US deployed ground troops, meaning that they sent troops to the ground to conduct the search and destroy mission against the Viet Cong. The US soldiers entered villages which were suspected to be harboring the Viet Cong, aiming to seek out and eliminate the Viet Cong. As you can see, aiming to seek out and kill the Viet Cong. The Viet Cong did not wear uniforms, so they could blend in with the peasants. As you can see, let's say for example, This is a, yes, as you can see, this is a US troop. They are looking for the Viet Cong, and the Viet Cong don't have a specific uniform. They just wear like ordinary peasants. How will the US troops be able to tell that this one is a Viet Cong, this one is an ordinary peasant? So that made this search and destroy policy to be what? To be unsuccessful, because the Viet Cong did not wear any uniform and they could easily blend in with the peasants. Alright? The US soldiers entered a village called My Lai and massacred the whole population of women and children. When you massacre, you kill a number of people at once. Now, the My Lai massacre, it is an important event. It's an important event that you also need to include. Alright, so the My Lai massacre was a tragic event in which the US soldiers killed hundreds of unarmed Vietnamese civilians, including women, children, and the elderly in the village of My Lai. Okay, this became known because of the My Lai massacre event, tragic event whereby a lot of people were killed. Women and children were killed by the Viet Cong, but no, women and children were killed by the US troops as they were searching for the Viet Cong. This event made it to the news. That is why it is referred to as the television war, because the Vietnam War was heavily covered by television news. It was broadcasted on television as the number of casualties grew, and many people, even Americans, began to doubt the wisdom of the war. Meaning that people in America began to doubt the war as well, because people were just being killed. Even women, even children, they were being killed. Hence, thus making people to be doubtful. And because people were now in doubt, or people were now doubting the wisdom of this war, this led to anti-war protest, meaning that people conducted anti-war protests, demonstrating that they are against this Vietnam War. Students were doing mass demonstrations. Okay, so all of those strategies that we spoke about previously were initiated or were employed under the leadership of President Johnson, right? Yes. Now we are being introduced to President Nixon, who stepped up as president after President Johnson didn't come back to run for elections. Okay, so yeah, President Nixon implemented the Vietnamization policy, where the South Vietnamese army would fill the opposition previously held by the US Army. Previously, when we were defining these terms, we said what was the Vietnamization policy? We said it was an American policy, or it was the US's policy that they introduced with the aim of providing what? South Vietnam with military as well as economic aid, allowing South Vietnam to be the ones at the forefront of the war, whilst the USA is gradually withdrawing their troops. I hope that makes sense. So President Nixon implemented the Vietnamization policy, where the South Vietnamese army would fill the position previously held by the US Army. This allowed for the gradual withdrawal of the US troops in Vietnam. In 1974, North Vietnam launched a major offensive against the South Vietnam, and Saigon fell. Remember, Saigon was the capital city of South Vietnam. Saigon fell to communist forces, and Vietnam was one country ruled by communists. Okay? In this case, it is evident that America failed to stop the spread of communism in Southeast Asia, as Vietnam, Cambodia, and Laos became communist countries. I hope that makes sense. And then now you get to your conclusion. You're supposed to conclude. When you conclude, you retake your stance. You say again, in conclusion, I agree that maybe the USA did not succeed in containing the spread of communism in Vietnam, because you state your reason and then you tell us what your essay has discussed. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, that's it for now. See you on my next video. Thank you.